Show Land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show Podcast. I am G1, and this is the Godzilla Block Party. Woo! Okay, so it's been a week. We're getting closer and closer to New York City Comic Con. We could possibly be getting closer and closer to having a trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong. We're not sure. And, oh my God, possible. Was it possible? Is it possible? Did it happen? Was there a advanced sneak screening for Godzilla vs. Kong? We don't know. Maybe we do. We're going to talk about it today. Before we get into all that stuff, let me introduce you to my co-hosts, my cohorts on the Godzilla Block Party. You know him as G73. You also know him as Megzy. We know him as Brother Chase. What's up, my brother?
Oh, man, it's been a pretty crazy week, and I'm actually really excited to talk about all this. Yeah, I've been waiting to just sit down and just talk to you guys about all this going on, so it's been all right.
We're going to get into all that. Also joining us, as always, Gam Z1. What's up, my brother? Sorry for waking you up so early.
Oh, no, you're fine, mate. It was about time that I woke up anyway.
We got him up, so he might be a little bit groggy, but don't worry, because sometimes groggy is the best. But, yeah, let's get right into it. Chase, this week we've been back and forth on Messenger. There's been a lot of things happening. We don't know if it's true or not. I can't say if it's true or not. I have my doubts. I hold my judgments. But there's been things coming out. Let's start with the supposed trailer. Let's do that and then work our way to like the screening, quote unquote.
Right.
But so there's news. Something about a Toho toy expo, a licensing expo, or even New York City Comic Con for this trailer drop. What's going on, bro?
Well, the rumor is, so the Toho is it's confirmed. It's not a rumor anymore, but it's Toho will be joining another licensing expo pretty soon. I don't remember the exact date, but it's something in Europe coming around, and I don't remember the exact date. But Toho will be there. And, Toho's at a licensing expo. There's obviously going to be something Godzilla. It's going to be strange if there's not, but, but with that being said, other than that, Joker's about to drop in, I think, a week a week. The rumors are that the first trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong might drop with the Joker.
So that would be like a week before Comic-Con.
That will be a week before Comic-Con. And so, yeah, that's the rumor on that. But they're also, I guess, along with the trailer, when they get into New York Comic-Con, there might be a dedicated Godzilla vs. Kong panel that's about an hour long. So I don't know. So if any of these are true, it leaves me up to the notion, what's going to happen first? Are they going to put a trailer with the Joker, or are they going to wait for New York Comic-Con? I think the Joker should be a smart spot, because the Joker sounds like it's going to be a box office hit. It sounds like it's gotten a lot of people's attention. Joaquin Phoenix is stellar in the movie, from what I hear, and I hear it's a very interesting film. And I think if Warner Brothers wanted to be smart, I think the Joker would be the best place to put it. I mean, they're already starting to put out promotion for Birds of Prey, and that comes out in February. So it makes sense to me if they put it out for the Joker. That's where I kind of sit on it. But I don't know whether this is all true or not. It's something definitely to look forward to come in the next couple of weeks, because that's literally next week for the New York Comic-Con. It's like October 1st or something like that. So I guess we'll find out.
I hear you. Gams, what do you think about any of that stuff? Is it smart for Warner Brothers to drop it with the Joker if that happens next week, or wait a week after that New York City Comic-Con, or...
I mean, it kind of sounds weird that Legendary would put or at least Warner Brothers would put a trailer for a quote unquote blockbuster with an artsy film like the Joker. But since it's a fellow Warner Brothers property, I suppose it'd make as much sense as anything else. And I saw a trailer for Godzilla King of the Monsters when I watched Endgame, so anything's possible.
Yeah, and in my head, I was thinking when me and Chase were going back and forth during the week, I was thinking, would they show a Godzilla vs. Kong trailer with the Joker? I'm like, it's a rated R movie versus a PG-13 movie. Then I thought about it, and I was like, wait a minute. I saw an It Chapter 2 trailer when I went to see King of the Monsters. So, yeah, it's absolutely possible that they could drop that trailer in front of the Joker.
And they're both Warner Brother licensed.
Exactly, and they're both Warner Brother licensed. But the artsy part, I don't know, because the Joker holds such a huge... it holds weight. It holds weight, that name, regardless if Batman's in it or not. And like Chase said, this movie is getting a ton of publicity. Some negative, a lot positive. I could see them dropping.
By calling it not not a blockbuster, I'm not saying that it's not going to sell like nearly $1 billion, because just very well might. I'm saying that the way it's filmed, its style, it's the way it's presenting itself, at least through its trailers, it seems to me more like almost an indie film that just so happens to feature a well-known character.
I got you. I totally get that.
Kind of like Birdman or something, but with the Joker.
Totally get that. I totally get. So, if that licensing expo doesn't happen within this, like, let's say Monday, you know what I'm saying, by Monday, then I would assume that if the trailer would drop early, it would be Joker. If not, we could wait to see if it's New York City Comic Con. But again, what about the one that we've always been kicking around since we didn't get the trailers at San Diego Comic Con, and that's Godzilla's actual birthday? The movie is called Godzilla vs. Kong, not Kong vs. Godzilla. So with Godzilla in the top billing, you would think, especially because it's the 65th anniversary, they might go all out and be like, all right, you know what? Let's just wait till November 3rd and drop something. November 3rd would be a Sunday, matter of fact. That's a weird place to put a trailer. And I don't know what movies are coming out, in November for Warner Brothers. So I guess the Joker is the ideal spot because, again, I don't know what's coming out for Warner Brothers that would have... the type of box office Warner Brothers wants, the type of getting asses in seats like the Joker would, because it's already out. It Chapter 2's already out. So, yeah.
In November we have, sorry to cut you off, but I actually looked this up the other day because I had the same impression. Dr. Sleep comes out in November. Motherless Brooklyn and Super Intelligence.
Okay, so
never mind. No, The Good Liar. Sorry.
Okay, so right off the bat, I think Dr. Sleep is the only one out of those three that might, but at the same time, not everybody knows that Dr. Sleep is a sequel to The Shining, and even with that, The Shining is a movie that's like 40 plus years old, if that. No, going to be 40. 30 some odd years old. So even then, it's like, I don't know how old, but it's between 38 and 41. That's an old movie, and I don't think a lot of people understand like what that is. I saw the trailer to Dr. Sleep, the second trailer, when I saw It Chapter 2. That shit blew my mind. I can't wait for that movie, honestly. I'm looking forward to that. But if they want Godzilla vs. Kong to be seen by more people than not, then it has to drop with something like the Joker. So, shit, I'm going to say it right here, bros. I'm going to say it right here. Godzilla vs. Kong, that teaser trailer, I honestly believe it's going to drop with the Joker. I think by next Tuesday or Wednesday, we're going to have something on YouTube, and then the trailer drops alongside the movie come Thursday night when, you get the early screenings and then Friday full blown. That's what I believe, because from what you just read off, Chase, I don't think Warner Brothers has anything
There's nothing even in December that's worth for them to post anything.
Right, attached to like their own
unless they totally throw a left wing and they put it with Gemini Man, but that's not a Warner Brothers property, which I mean, I guess is still possible. I mean, it doesn't have to be with the Warner Brothers license, but
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Is Gemini Man really set up to be that big audience film?
Well, I'll put it like this.
Maybe put the trailer in front of Return of Skywalker.
Now that
might be smart, but that's really close to March, though.
And that's a really good point. Oh, but here's the thing: what if they took a page out of and say what you want about the movie itself, but what if they take a page out of the Cloverfield paradox? I mean, that trailer dropped the day the movie dropped. Right? Like, that's crazy. Like, that's just crazy. And I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen with Godzilla vs. Kong.
I mean, I could see that if Godzilla vs. Kong didn't go to theaters and went straight to Netflix.
Absolutely agree. But The Rise of Skywalker wouldn't be so far-fetched. It's, 3 months away? 3 months away? That's not bad.
Or if they do show it with Rise of Skywalker, but then they also announced Godzilla vs. Kong is being delayed.
That could happen, but I think if they're going to show the trailer, wherever they show it between now and, let's say, Rise of Skywalker, because I honestly believe you cannot not show that trailer 2020. Like, before 2020. You have to show it.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to show it in 2019. And we're running out of time here in 2019. You have to show that trailer. Personally, the most ideal spot is Godzilla's birthday. I think that's the best spot. You build it up that way. Hey, it's Godzilla's birthday, and here's a birthday treat for everybody to celebrate. Bam, first trailer. We all go goo goo gaga. That to me is the ideal scenario. They want to drop it with the Joker. There's definitely going to be a lot of eyes seeing that. Especially because it's a rated R movie, The Joker, and you're going to get a lot of people, not kids, but a lot of people going to see it that would normally not see a Godzilla movie. And if there's something in that trailer that gets their attention, then that just means there's someone else that has now been converted to the cause.
They could totally make a joke about Batman vs. Superman. What Batman vs. Superman should have been. And people were like, ah!
Right. Could you imagine Millie Bobby Brown? You gotta save Mothra. Why'd you say that name?
Yeah, Godzilla gets close to her face and feet.
I'm just saying. Hey, X-Men 3, The Last Stand had I'm the Juggernaut bitch. I'm just saying.
That tired me.
That meme's not tired. You know it. I know it. If that meme is relevant, it will stay relevant until 2021, when we should be said and done with the Monsterverse. I hope not, but I think that's where we're going. But anyhow, it should happen before 2019's over. Star Wars to me is the perfect spot, but then you also got to look at Jumanji 2 is coming out, and you know Jumanji was a hit. And people are going to go see Jumanji. And I will say this. As much as I love Star Wars, everybody here knows this. My number one thing, and then Godzilla right behind it, close second. I love Star Wars, but I look at everything. And you look at everything. And right now, Star Wars is not in a good place. It's not. When you look at what's going on with the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in both theme parks, the attendance numbers dropped right off. And my birthday's coming up. I would love to go there to do everything. But prices are still stupid expensive. To buy a souvenir is retarded. I'm not going to pay $20 for a cup of blue milk. You can all keep that shit to yourself.
I can buy milk and get fucking blue food coloring.
Right,
and put it in it.
Exactly. So Star Wars right now is in a weird spot. Make no mistakes, Rise of Skywalker will break $1 billion. But it might not be what a Star Wars fan outside of this Godzilla fandom. Me and the Star Wars fan, like legit, like I want that movie to succeed the way I wanted King of the Monsters to succeed.
All I'm hoping is that J.J. Abrams salvages what what was the last movie?
The Last Jedi?
Yeah, salvages what The Last Jedi just completely ruined.
I 100% agree with you. The way I hope Toho salvages anything and gets the goodwill back from the people outside of Japan for the atrocity that was Chase Shit Godzilla. There it was, ladies and gentlemen. There was your singer for the day. That was your singer for the podcast.
You get one every friggin' podcast.
Got to do it. Got to do it. I still love you, Godzilla, and I got to be honest. I'll be dead ass honest with you. Little off topic here. That Shin Godzilla design, as much as I don't like it, it's lately been growing on me. Not the movie, but the design. I don't like Zombie Godzilla, but lately it's been growing on me. So
get you that NECCA figure. It's still super affordable and it looks fantastic.
And I wouldn't be opposed to it. I really wouldn't. So, but anyway, back to the topic at hand before we jump to another topic that I definitely want to get into, which is the screening. Yeah. So where do we stand, real quick? Chase, where do you think this trailer drops? Joker, Godzilla's birthday, or they wait till December when you have Rise of Skywalker and Jumanji 2, the biggest blockbusters to come out at the end of the year? Where do you think this falls?
Man, I want to say if it's not the Joker or New York Comic Con, I don't see it. I mean, as much as I would want it to come out in November, I don't know if Warner Brothers and Legendary are really on that side of the iron. So I don't know. I mean, I'll be surprised if it comes out in November, regardless if I want it. But if it's not with the Joker and New York Comic Con, I don't know. I think the Joker. I think we might see something next week. I might put my money on that.
Okay, Gams. What about you? Joker, Comic Con, December, Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker, or Jumanji 2?
Well, the thing about the November 3rd Godzilla's birthday trailer drop thing is, yeah, we live in the internet age where trailers just get posted to YouTube all the time. But what movie comes out in early November that they could attach the trailer to and get clout for?
Right. Terminator.
Yeah, the movie set up to the box.
Yeah, what date is that movie set to come out?
November 1st. I can't wait. That's a birthday gift, people. I'm there.
I mean, yeah, that could be a thing. That could be a thing. So, yeah, the November, the early November thing could be correct. I mean, we're starting to enter October now, so. If it comes out with the Joker, or if it comes out during New York Comic Con, then that one trailer prediction Twitter thing that was absolutely right then. So I'm hoping either the November thing or the October thing. And I'm gonna have to agree with Chase that if the first trailer comes out with Rise of Skywalker, then it's got to be delayed.
Okay. I don't agree with that, but I totally see where y'all coming from. I don't think it's next week. I don't think it's the Joker. I would love it just so we can see something. I think November... Godzilla's birthday on the 3rd is ideal. That, to me, is the perfect spot. But again, like Gam said and Chase ran down, there really is nothing substantial coming out until the end of December. So I'm going to say that they learned from their mistakes, that they're going to hold on and show that trailer at the end of December. It'll be a Christmas gift to all Godzilla fans and Star Wars fans. So if I go into a Star Wars movie, right, and I see a trailer with Godzilla, guess who's going crazy and then going home? Me. I'm not even going to watch Rise of Skywalker. I've seen enough. Bye-bye, y'all. Goodbye.
Yeah, Netflix it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll Netflix it. Goodbye, y'all. See you later. Disney Plus. Here we go. I'm out. So I think that for Warner Brothers, all eyes will always be on something Disney is dropping, whether it be in Marvel or Star Wars. And again, even though Star Wars is in somewhat of a funk right now, it's still going to get the most views. There's going to be so many tickets bought to that movie, okay, than any other movie that starts this weekend, next weekend, up until Star Wars comes out. There's no major blockbuster coming out. There is the Joker, and there is Terminator, and then there's just things that there are fandoms to. For instance, like I said, The Shining 2, Doctor Sleep. But outside of that, there's nothing. There's really nothing. So, as much as I want November 3rd,
some sort of Liam Neeson movie's bound to drop in January.
The movie season is pretty much officially over at this point.
It's over, and then you just get like the last gasp in December. And I mean, don't get me wrong, that could save the life. With Star Wars and Jumanji, those are perfect opportunities, especially Jumanji, because you're gonna get a completely different crowd than you will the Star Wars crowd going to see that movie. You know what I mean? The Star Wars crowd is gonna be the Star Wars geeks, the people that are fucking in, and then the people who are curious. Jumanji has a whole. They have the Rock fans, they've got the Kevin Hart fans, they've got Jack Black fans, and I'm not trying to disrespect Karen Gillan, because you got the Doctor Who fans going to see her. They're not going to see her because she was homegirl from Guardians of the Galaxy, Nebula. They will go see her because she's from Doctor Who. But regardless of that, she's not top billing. But the Rock fans, and especially Kevin Hart fans, you're going to get a different crowd going to see Jumanji than you will Star Wars. And Jumanji 1...
I'm actually, for one, excited about Jumanji 2. I saw that trailer and thought it looked funny.
Dude, I'm right there with you, bro. I think Jumanji 2 is going to be great.
Danny Glover's character.
But yeah, Danny Glover and Danny DeVito. I mean, I completely love
Danny DeVito. He's a meme, so he's going to get a lot of those people.
So
I mean, Jack Black's a meme at this point, too, because of his YouTube channel, Jablinski.
Listen, Jack Black is the greatest of all time, all right? He's Wonderboy.
Yes, he is.
You can't even... I can't even spit ill at that dude's name. I've seen, like, almost every Jack Black movie, honestly, whether I liked it or not. Orange County. Jack Black is my man.
Like literally, his YouTube channel is not, like, calling it bad, but, like, he literally made it as a joke. Like, he calls it Jablinski Games, but every week he's just like, no gaming video this week, gamers. he's just shit posting.
That's you gotta understand, we can talk about Jack Black on this podcast. Why? King Kong 2005. That's why. I was
gonna say, he's Carl Denham.
That's right. That's why.
He is.
That's why. And
I saw actually a thing on TV the other day with him and Bruce Willis, and Bruce Willis kills him. And I don't remember what movie it was, but I got like the last part of it and shoots Jack Black and all that. And I'm like, wow.
Oh, that's
that
not
was
right.
Jack Black's first roles.
No,
I don't remember what it was.
I love Bruce Willis. Don't kill Jack Black, Bruce. Come on.
But keeping it on the topic of Godzilla, I at first said that I didn't have anything that I wanted to bring up, but I do have one thing.
Okay.
I don't know whether or not this was showcased during the New York Toy Fair or not, but do you guys know about the Diamond Select Vinimates?
Yeah, I've seen those on Amazon.
Yeah, the Diamond Select Vinimates, they're really stylized. They got short, stumpy tails, big hands, big feet, and tiny heads. That's supposed to be a really stylized version of Godzilla 2000. Now, that's not the news. The news is that on top of the Godzilla 2000, Godzilla 54, and Mechagodzilla that just came out, I guess apparently Diamond Select is coming out with 3 more figures, which is 1962 King Kong vs. Godzilla version of Godzilla. You got Burning Godzilla, and then you got Rodan. So apparently, and those are coming out in February of 2020. So I guess what Diamond Select is doing with this line is each wave is 3 figures with 2 Godzillas and a not Godzilla.
I like
That's
that.
interesting.
I like that.
That kind of is interesting on the topic too, because NECCA is wanting said that they're going to be probably showcasing. Someone asked them on Twitter and said, "Will we be seeing any Godzilla figures at New York Comic Con?" And he or any new Godzilla figures? And he said, whoever runs it, I think Randy or whoever, said,
"Yeah, it's Randy.
Look, wait till next week."
Ah. Huh.
So my question is, go ahead, Andrew. I'll let you go first.
Yeah. Well, no. was your question going to be, what do you guys think it's going to be?
Well, I was thinking, might see Godzilla versus Kong figures?
I don't think so. I think it's still too early to showcase the Godzilla vs. Kong figures. And we don't even know if NECCA has the license to make Kong figures. Because NECCA had no hand in making any of the Kong Skull Island figures. And right now, the only articulated King Kong figure out there that's not like a third-party figure is that Mezco Kong.
Mm.
So
they also have the SH Monster Arts of the 2000 Kong.
Yeah, but we Bandai hasn't done anything with it since, and
True.
That's Bandai, not NECCA. But anyways, what I think, I have a few theories about that. Knowing how NECCA works, all right. Number one, they're probably going to still showcase the Godzilla V3 Burning Godzilla. Because that was during the Toy Fair, and we only got a few select images of it. So probably during New York Comic Con, we'll be seeing more images, more angles of it, getting us NECCA fans salivating. They'll probably still be showcasing the 1964 Godzilla. Maybe they this is just a wild prediction, but because a lot of people have had some issues. Tiny issues, but still some issues with the way that figure was presented. Maybe this would be NECCA's chance to retool it and make it even better. And my third prediction, because I know how NECCA works, they're going to be showing some repaints.
Mm.
Repaints Number one would be Mothra with blue wings.
Oh.
Because right now the standard Mothra has red and orange wings. But if you notice, she only had red and orange wings for like a split second during the fight with Ghidorah.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, her wings were teal, bluish, greenish.
Bioluminescence.
Bioluminescent. So I think that would be an easy opportunity for NECCA to do a repaint. And if they don't do it, then they're kind of dumb. Let's be honest. They don't like money if they don't want to do that.
And that is totally not true.
Now, consider one more wild prediction I have would be one of the other Titans. We know at this point they're not going to make a King Ghidorah figure. Let's just get it out of our heads now. I was hoping for San Diego Comic-Con. I was hoping for Toy Fair. We have had nothing. All right. I've given up on King Ghidorah. I already have the SH Monster Arts King Ghidorah anyway, so even if NECCA came out with one, I'm not going to buy it.
You can get the Benny Presto statue coming out in October for $20.
I could. I definitely could. I actually was planning on getting both that and the Godzilla.
Insane.
From Van Presto. Because they're really cute. They got the little bodies and the big heads, just like the D4 figures. But I think maybe we would see a figure of Behemoth or Scylla, or maybe even Methuselah.
Oh. I think Behemoth would be probably the money.
I agree with
that Behemoth would be where the money is, because Behemoth is probably the standout hit among the non-Godzilla Titans.
It's also an easy mold.
Very, very easy. I mean, and there's starting to be fan art of Behemoth going around and stuff too, which I posted one today and I thought it was beautiful. And I definitely agree it could be Behemoth. I would love a Behemoth.
I would also love a Behemoth figure. I cannot wait for YMSF to come out with their Behemoth figure.
I'll tell you right now, I don't think we'll ever see a Methuselah. That's the one with that's the spider one with the...
No,
Scylla.
Scylla, right, Scylla. We'll never see Scylla.
Is the one that rose out of the mountain. You know, the not Anguirus.
The not Anguirus, I still hate that. But anyway, yeah. I could see that one too, but I think Behemoth would benefit the most and make them the most money.
Definitely. One more prediction for repaints: a red Rodan.
I was going to say battle damage.
Yeah, or battle damage Rodan with a little hole in his shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because NECCA's Rodan is black with red and orange highlights. But a lot of Rodan's screen time, especially when he first comes out of the volcano, he's red just like his classic self.
Right.
So, other than that, I'm not too sure what NECCA could be announcing. They could announce some classic Godzilla figures. Maybe a classic Mothra. Maybe a classic Rodan.
Finally,
an
an 89 NECCA figure.
Let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask you. Don't you think NECCA would like to capitalize on the Criterion collection and start dropping like different versions of Godzilla or different kaiju that Godzilla fights within the series? Because
right now NECCA only has the rights to Mothra and Rodan.
That's bull. Come on. But I mean,
technically they also have the rights to King Ghidorah, but they're not using them.
I just don't think it's. I don't know how the technicalities go, but it's crazy. If you have Toho licensed characters, why wouldn't Toho just let them license other characters? Is there something in the contract? Because Toho gets the money.
It's not a Toho thing. It's not a Toho thing. Randy, NECCA's spokesperson, has been asked about this a lot of the time, many times. It is NECCA themselves that do not want to make the other monsters.
Okay.
NECCA thinks they're too niche and not marketable.
Oh please, that's retarded. You telling me that a freaking 70s Mechagodzilla wouldn't be marketable? That's retarded.
Yeah, they think Mechagodzilla's too niche.
That's dumb.
It's the same thing why I think their King Ghidorah excuse is bullshit.
Yeah, that their King Ghidorah excuse was that he'd be too big and too expensive.
That kind of drives me nuts.
I wanted to buy their Alien Queen one that they had a long time ago. That was like $70. I would totally buy King Ghidorah if it was big enough. If it was good enough.
Listen, you're telling me you won't give me a freaking Hedorah because everybody knows who the Smog Monster is. It's one of the craziest, kookiest Godzilla movies. It lives on because of that very reason.
Well,
it's so obscure and nutty.
NECCA's fans mostly consist of horror movie collectors.
Oh, no, it don't. No, it don't.
Alien collectors, Predator collectors,
No.
slasher villain collectors.
No, they've been, because for instance, this year in Comic-Con, I've been watching this dude, something Dan, I forget his name, but he was showcasing NECCA. They got the Ninja Turtles, and they were doing like the Ninja Turtles arcade game. Like they're branching off tremendously. They've got the Matrix. I was like, oh shit, look at Neo and Trinity. What? And I get that they do the horror stuff. I totally do, and I love it.
I mean,
but come on.
You gotta realize, as someone who's been collecting this line since it began,
right?
NECCA probably treats Godzilla as their least important property that they own.
I could see that. Totally see that.
Like, literally, they prioritized releasing figures of the Golden Girls over a King Ghidorah.
Okay, you know what's crazy? I'm not even gonna lie. You said that. I had no idea that that's a thing. But lately at my job, there have been a bunch of ladies that work with us at my job wearing Golden Girls t-shirts, and I'm like, what is this renaissance?
Hey, no, I've been looking at Walmart because they've been selling men's shirts that are the Golden Girls, and they're pink. And I almost bought one, but they didn't have a size.
Well, yeah,
I'd love to rock that thing around, man.
Well, yeah, it's NECCA's thought process is dumb. Like, Godzilla is hella marketable, but NECCA just doesn't think so. That's why we only get, like, maybe 1 or 2 new figures per year.
Listen, and it drives me crazy because if you think, outside of the fandom, right? If you're a toy collector, and let's say you love what NECCA does, you're going to buy anything NECCA does, whether it's the Golden Girls or freaking the Ibera or Gabara or the Kamacuras. Come on. It's just, like, why wouldn't you make a Kamacuras? Who doesn't want, like, a giant praying mantis / grasshopper chilling on their mantle? I do.
I don't know. Go to NECCA's Facebook page and message Randy.
You know, it's crazy.
Or even Humunga.
Right, thank God for Bandai. As much as they're not articulated and shit, at least Bandai gets it. to an extent.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you guys know this. But here near the end of the year, Bandai is releasing 3 new well, not new, but like they're reissues. But the reissues of pretty old figures. They're reissuing their vinyl of Gigan from Final Wars.
Oh.
They're reissuing
nice.
their Anguirus from Final Wars.
Oh, I need that.
And they're reissuing their original Godzilla from 1954, like the old Godzilla from 1954.
That I know.
Not any of the remolds or the one with the weird pose.
Oh,
Just
never
the
mind.
original standard 54 Godzilla. Bandai.
I used to have that figure.
I still do have that. I bought that at a G Fest, I think 2001 or 2002 or even 2000. I forget which. It was 2001 or 2. But I own that. That's pretty cool. I got to get me an Anguirus one from Final Wars. Are you kidding me or what?
Oh yeah. As soon as those 3 figures drop and Amazon starts offering them, you best believe I am importing them.
And you know it's crazy because we were so off topic because this was not in the rundown, but I'm having fun with running with this. Anguirus, how the fuck could you not, NECCA? How? Listen, okay, so call me crazy because I'm not a toy collector like that. I buy toys. But I don't actively do it. If I see something I like, I'll buy it. I have the NECCA Godzilla, King Kong versus Godzilla that just came out earlier this year. I love it. Shout out to JR. Thank you, my brother. But, like, NECCA does these cool things. And I'll use the Ninja Turtles as an example again. They're doing the arcade versions of the Ninja Turtles. It's basically the cartoon molds with pixelation. Hell, I own a NECCA Godzilla Nintendo game.
It's part of their video game line where they make a bunch of repaints of characters that they and figures that they've already made, but with like pixelated graphics, like the NES Godzilla or the Turtles in Time Ninja Turtles.
Exactly.
Or they have a Jason figure that's wearing purple and has a neon blue mask from the NES Friday the 13th game.
Exactly. So that's my point, though. And some of those, let's say the Ninja Turtles, they do 2-packs, correct?
Yes, they do.
So why couldn't, and I'm just saying, I'm just throwing this out in the ether here, and I want you, especially you Games as a collector, why couldn't they make, I don't know, let's say Godzilla Series 2-packs, right? And the first one they start off with, let's just say is Godzilla Raids Again. And you have Godzilla from that movie, that design, because I absolutely love that design. I love that.
I mean, I don't personally love that design, but I don't have a Godzilla 1955 figure. So
but that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, like, let's say a 2-pack, you have that design Godzilla, right? Or Gigantus for you American people. We're all American here, by the way. and Anguirus, 1955's original Anguirus. And if you want to make it even crazier, make it black and white. Come on, man.
I mean, they painted their 1954 Godzilla black and white.
And that's the thing, because as a collector, whether or not you're a Godzilla fan, as a collector, you look at that and you go, you know what? That's actually kind of dope. I'll pick that shit up. And then you just have it because you're A, a NECCA fan, or B, just a collector of toys. And I think that's something that I would totally do it. You know? Whether or not Toho, and you said it's not Toho, it's NECCA, just get with the program.
NECCA themselves, they don't think any of the other monsters, Anguirus, Mechagodzilla, friggin' Space Godzilla, Destroya, any of them
I wouldn't even
are marketable enough to shill to their regular collecting.
I wouldn't even deal with any of the Heisei or Millennium series. I would, in line with Criterion Collection coming out, I would totally pick and choose some battles there. I would definitely have Anguirus because that would sell. I would definitely have Hedorah. That would sell. You know, like maybe I goof with Gabara. I don't think that would sell. But Mechagodzilla, the core ones, the ones that were constantly running on TV.
Even a Shawa King Ghidorah that's just a normal dragon-sized toy. Like, it doesn't have to be huge.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. I would love another show of King Ghidorah. I love my little bootleg. But one made by NECCA, I would totally not be opposed to, especially now that they're straying away from the bendy wire and doing more articulated stuff. Because back in the day when they just did strictly bendy wire, I was afraid if they ever did a King Ghidorah, they would make his neck bendy wire. But now that they're branching out to more just straight up articulation, I would love a show of King Ghidorah from them. And looking at the 2-packs, they own the rights to King Ghidorah and Mothra.
See that?
So they could totally do a 2-pack of the 1964 Godzilla and the 1964 Mothra, or they could do a slight retool and make a Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster version of the 1964 Godzilla with King Ghidorah.
Get with the program, NECCA. Get with the program. Speaking of programs, and that's the way I segue, let's talk about the screening that happened for supposedly for Godzilla vs. Kong. By the way, I just real quick before we get into that, Gams, thanks for bringing that up, because honestly, I didn't think I was going to have as much fun with that topic right there than I just did. So, gracias.
Oh yeah, I was just kind of farting around on Big Bad Toy Store as we were opening up, and I noticed that these Mini-Mates were being shilled and up for pre-order. I pre-ordered them.
Of course you did.
and I knew that Chase was thinking about talking about this NECCA thing, so I was like, you know what? Let's set up that segue for Chase by talking about these figures.
It works. It works.
It works. But let's get into this supposed GvK screening. I want to talk about that. I do want to talk about that. And Chase, you have the lowdown. You hit me with the information. So what's the deal here?
So over the week, some pages on Twitter were talking about that. Apparently, a Godzilla vs. Kong screening has taken place recently. The long story short of it is there's some people that think it's true, some people that think it's not. But the main thing is that a lot of people, the majority of the reception of the screening was positive, which is always a good thing. However, they say the second half of the movie suffers.
Oh, boy.
From lack of rhythm, and the humor is just awful.
That was one of my...
Basically, what you're saying is the first half is good and the other half is garbo doody-doo.
Yes, exactly.
That was one of my biggest gripes with King of the Monsters. The humor sucked. It sucked.
Oh, dude, that gonorrhea joke is cringy all the time.
Cringe.
Like, I mean, like, the trailers made it seem decent enough, but actually on screen, that's probably the one thing that, like, bothers me.
You know what? I was actually thinking about that gonorrhea joke, and I think a smarter way to do that was, instead of gonorrhea, they did a throwback. And is it like when she said Ghidorah, the one who is many, and the guy goes, Gua? And instead of saying, I think she said gonorrhea, he should have said, I think she said Ghidra.
Dude, yes. See, and that's what kind of bothers me, because if Michael Dougherty, and I take nothing, I give him the utmost respect, he is a fan. Oh, and there was something else that I didn't even talk about before we started, but that I want to bring up because he is such a fan that I saw this week that I was like, oh my God, that's Red Shroud, it's awesome. But anyhow, I absolutely agree with that, Gam. That, to me, would have been a much better joke. This shit had Michael Bay humor when you watch Transformers. And trust me when I tell you, as a Transformer fan, from a kid watching that shit in 1984, going goo-goo gaga for that stuff, to getting a live-action version. The greatest Transformer movie, by the way, is 1986, The Transformers, the movie, animated. Anyhow,
I actually bought that on Vudu the other day. Because
it's the greatest thing of all time, one of them, in terms of Transformers. That, when the live-action movie came out, and the humor, I was like, I'm not going to lie, I gave the first one a pass. It's like, yeah. Everything after that, I was like, I can't stand this. And we got that in King of the Monsters. If you look at 2014's Godzilla, and look at how serious that movie was, and then look at King of the Monsters, and just the jokes did not hit at all, to me personally. That gonorrhea joke
should have been
terrible.
More cleverly written and be more kind of referential.
And that's why I'm kind of mad at the fact that, Michael Dougherty, you are a you say Godzilla. Why would you put that in there? Was that your decision? You're the director. It bothered me to no end for that, and just the dumb humor.
And about that, it's different. It's a lot different when you're actually there filming it than transition to screen. But I still agree. Like even with filming, if you went over that scene again and watched it, do you really think it worked?
No.
I mean, that's what I'm meaning as a standpoint, as a director going over it. Can you really possibly tell me that it worked? And I mean,
that should have
I
got
honestly
cut.
think King of the Monsters didn't need humor.
100%. Yes.
I actually think probably the best humor in that scene, in that movie, is probably from Kyle Chandler, and it's when Rodan pops out of the volcano, and he's like, Ghidorah, it's responding to Big Bird's cries. He's either coming here for food, a fight, or something other more intimate. I thought that was probably the most funniest thing that popped up, and it was said in a serious way. It wasn't even intended to be funny.
Right.
And I thought that was funny, though. I thought that was actually probably really clever that brought that up, because it made sense, and I liked it a lot.
You're forgetting the funniest character in this entire movie.
No, don't say
that. The funniest character is Kevin.
Is who? Oh, Kevin, right. And I agree with that. I think, I agree with you, Chase. I think because of the way it was delivered, that line works. But you know me, I hated anything. Even though I honestly I didn't think I was going to enjoy the dude, but I didn't think I was going to enjoy the dude, right? But I did enjoy. I wound up enjoying the guy Stan, but his jokes were not cool, man. Like, they were dumb, and that's where I get mad. That is what appeals to the Jumanji crowd, but the Jumanji crowd wasn't going to see Godzilla. This is why I believe Godzilla vs Kong can open up the trailer with Jumanji, because and if they do that with the jokes, and as you just said, that the second half of Godzilla vs. Kong and the supposed screening did not hit because of some of the jokes, then we are in for disaster.
I have an issue with the legitimacy of this pre-screening. Like, you say that it happened and that people didn't like it, and half the people think it's fake, half the people think it's real. But I'm kind of teetering on the line that it may be fake, because when did it happen?
Well, that's the crazy thing.
Movie screenings happen all the time, whether we know it or not. They don't have to be set up for a specific event. I mean, there were screenings. When people
say that they were there, why did they say they went?
No, because here's the thing. It goes like this. Chase is absolutely right. So I worked with a dude, right, who he legitimately follows certain websites that tells you when these special screenings take place, because all they are, I can't think of the word. Basically, you go into the movie's not finished. So they didn't see the finished movie if this happened.
It's a glorified tech demo?
It's a glorified tech demo. So, for instance, perfect example, Wolverine Origins, and I'm not condoning this.
I was just going to say that, because I went to that test screening.
Okay, so Wolverine Origins, and I'm not saying that I saw the bootleg copy that wasn't finished, the one that people saw in theaters. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that that's what I owned for a while. I didn't own it because I didn't buy it. I'm not saying that that's what I downloaded because I didn't download it either. I'm not saying that it was given to me. It might have been. But the fact of the matter is this. When I watched that Wolverine's Origin, it wasn't done. So you would see Hugh Jackman flying like from an explosion, and he's like, but it was like a green screen behind him. The effects weren't done. So I think that's what these people saw. Something where the effects weren't fully done.
I mean, it can be argued that X-Men Origins Wolverine's effects still aren't done.
It could be argued that. Didn't that movie get retconned? I'm just saying, that is a terrible fucking.
Yeah, that movie got retconned.
But I mean, it is what it is. I don't think that they saw everything, and if that was the case, because again, and this is something Chase brings up a lot and brought up a whole bunch of times. The movie, the especially the final act of this movie, yeah, that's got to be no holds barred, all out kaiju action. Whether it's Godzilla fighting Kong or Godzilla and Kong fighting Mecha King Ghidorah.
Or Destroyer.
Or Baggin. Either way.
Stop it.
Either way. Shin Godzilla,
Or
baby.
Methuselah and Behemoth.
Right, merging together to form Baggin. Because that's what's probably going to happen. But that's what I'm saying. Is like, so these effects couldn't have been done if these people seen this movie. Whether or not they delayed the movie from March, I don't think that's the case. I think you can absolutely have this movie finished in the can by February. Yes, that's kind of close, but I absolutely believe they can. Again, stock footage is a motherfucker. Something Toho used 1 billion times. We said this, I think, in the last podcast. I'm not opposed to stock footage. I'm not. I am not opposed.
Stock footage, like we said in the last podcast, they use stock footage of King of the Monsters.
And they did it in a legitimate way. I'm talking about stock footage where, like in the old Toho movies, you see King Ghidorah.
Cuts from stock footage of the 62 Godzilla and Kong movie.
That would be hysterical. Well, I'm talking about, like, remember when King Ghidorah, like, and not King Ghidorah, but King Ghidorah, whatever, in the original Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, comes down and he's blowing up a certain, it looks like a gas station and then like an amusement park, but whatever. The same scene is in Godzilla versus Megalon, and King Ghidorah is not there. It's just that Megalon's horn had a yellow corona beam. And it worked. It fucking worked. I didn't get that until I was like 16, 17. I was like, wait a minute, what? What?
You know, I haven't seen that scene in years, and you just mentioned that, and I can see it vividly.
You know what I'm
like,
talking about?
So vividly.
So, you know, like, what if they did stock footage? And I'm not saying they're gonna, because, again, it's Hollywood. And
Yeah, I don't think they would use stock footage in a movie like that. And actually, I'm glad you bring it up, because this brings me into my main thing I wanted to bring up, but I'll let you finish.
Oh, I was gonna say that. It would bring a certain charm to this movie that the moviegoers of today who don't follow Godzilla won't get, but as Godzilla fans, we would probably eat that up like, okay, we get it. And I'm just saying, that's all I'm saying.
So, you know, I've been talking a lot of, you know, Godzilla and Kong being delayed, stuff like that. And for once, I wanted to bring up the different side of the spectrum. I'll get into it. You know, at the end of the day, we don't know exactly how much King of the Monsters marketing cost. On one hand, we also have Toho, who's absolutely like being the cheerleader for Godzilla versus Kong here, and they've stated, and the way they've stated things in their past articles, they're making it seem like they're not expecting after Godzilla versus Kong to be the end of it. They are making it seem like they're going to let Legendary and Warner Brothers continue. They say many times that we're excited to see what further stuff Legendary Hollywood does with our character. Now, with that being said, maybe what if we're thinking about this all wrong? Because let's say Godzilla vs. Kong does drop next week, a trailer. You know, yeah, sure, Legendary and Warner Brothers came out and said that we are a little bit disappointed with the box office, but what degree is their disappointment? I mean, are they $100 less of what they expected? Are they, you know, this is just all thing. We don't know where that lies. We don't know exactly how disappointed they are. So let's say maybe to them, King of the Monsters, and let me rephrase this. King of the Monsters was not a financial disaster. It made its money back, and it made a chunk of change. Now, the marketing is where it's iffy, because we don't know how much that is. So how much extra they got with that, we don't know. But let's say that Legendary and Warner Brothers don't see it as a failure, and they're just full 100% confident, full-fledged in Godzilla vs. Kong, and everything's set out to be shining and lit. And we do get a trailer, and it does come out in March. How does that change things to where everything is? I mean, I guess I bring it up because I was thinking about it. We've been thinking about, I have especially, I shouldn't say we, I've been thinking of this as like a very dark, negative thing. Like King of the Monsters was such a failure. Godzilla and Kong shouldn't even happen. But the thing is we've only thought that way just because of what other people were saying, you know? sure, Godzilla King of the Monsters didn't make the 500 million, but what if it made 380 something million in the box office? What if their end goal was 400 million at least, or something like that? We don't know exactly, where it all stands. Of course, it's going to be the most money they want in general. They want to take as much as they can. They want, but what if we're looking at this in a different way? What if the whole notion of Godzilla King of the Monsters being this bad negative thing is just something that should be irrelevant? And King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong is totally going to have a healthy production, healthy release. Because of right now where I see it, Godzilla vs. Kong is being choked. It's not going to have a healthy release. It's going to have a rush release if it comes out in March. And it's going to be I feel like it might be half-assed. And I was just wondering on what side of the coin, what if that's totally not the case? What if it's actually 100%, going to be just fine, a healthy release? And I was just wondering, where does that put us on our thoughts of Godzilla versus Kong?
Games, you want to chime in on it?
I mean, that's just what any self-respecting cinema fan would want, is, the movie to be released on time and be at least halfway decent.
Agreed.
Well, but is it possible that could actually be a factor into Godzilla versus Kong? What if King of the Monsters wasn't as negatively acquitted as we thought? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. I would love to believe like Mulder in the X-Files, but because of the facts laid before me and the numbers, I could definitely say with confidence that Legendary is a little bit bummed out by what happened. Now, again, we do not know what the future holds unless you got a time machine like, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, one of the best movies in the Heisei series. Haha, gams.
No.
But I'm just saying, I'm messing with gams there. I'm just saying, we don't know what the future holds. Godzilla vs. Kong could come out and test screenings be damned. It can absolutely crush and make numbers that are astronomical. I don't think it's going to be the greatest number-making movie in the history of movies, but if it comes out and it just does buku bucks, crushes Kong, crushes King of the Monsters, crushes Skull Island, crushes 2014, just crushes. Hey, we'll be here like giving it props and praises if the movie's good. But so yeah, we don't know what the future holds, and that's the best part about it. You know what I'm saying? It's we see what the past has brought us. We've seen it. We've seen what 2014 did. We've seen what Skull Island did, and we've seen what King of the Monsters did. And progressively, it didn't really go up. It kind of teetered off. And whether or not that's due to either early promotion and then oversaturation of promotion is yet to be seen. As of right now, Godzilla vs. Kong still comes out in March, and we haven't seen nothing yet but a poster. And I think right now, that might be a good thing, because if they do hold out, and let's say, going right back to the beginning before we wrap this up, if they do hold out and drop it, let's say in December, a trailer, and this movie is coming out in March, then they're taking their time. They're not rushing. They're not going to show the money shots because the first trailer drops in December. And then 3 months later, we'll get the full thing, the full Monty. And
so
that's
so then are you saying 4 months for a movie's announcement is healthy enough for a movie to be widely received?
For this particular thing, absolutely. You know why? Because in Kong Skull Island, they introduced the idea that Godzilla is a part of that universe. Or let me rephrase that Kong is a part of the Godzilla universe by showing the cave paintings of of Godzilla, and then they introduced Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. And then at the end of King of the Monsters, not only did they introduce a plethora of new kaiju, they showed that at one point in time, Godzilla and Kong actually fought. So, absolutely, if you went to see that movie...
I'm talking about, is it enough notice for a movie?
Absolutely.
Again, I got to bring this up, and I know I already said that it's a different type of film, but Joker only got 2 trailers, and they weren't all that long ago.
That is absolutely true.
And everybody's on board with that movie. Everybody.
The difference between the Joker and this, though, is that the Joker screened a month and a half before it actually released. So now you have all your favorite YouTube people saying, oh, you should see Joker because the Joker is going to win an Academy Award and all that stuff. And I'm not saying it's not, because I can't wait to see it, but it did
on top of that, Rise of Skywalker has only 2 trailers, and one of them is a clip show of everything that came before.
Yeah, I'm not even going to get into Rise of Skywalker. That's Star Wars. That's on another level. But what I'm saying is, yes, Chase, I absolutely agree. I believe that, especially for this movie, because 2 movies beforehand set this one up. So if you saw these 2 movies, Kong Skull Island and King of the Monsters, then you know the setup. You saw those movies, you know where it's going. And especially because King of the Monsters didn't do what Legendary wanted, whatever it was, we see it right now. The evidence is here. They are taking their time with it. They didn't drop a trailer in Comic-Con San Diego in July, where normally there would be crazy trailers. And we have a week or 2, as of right now, to see whether or not they drop it. And if they don't, then it's either in November for Godzilla's birthday. And if they don't do that, then it's absolutely coming in December with Rise of Skywalker and Jumanji. There's no doubt in my mind.
And then if it doesn't come in December?
Then they're going to have to put out a fucking statement, like you said, and push that shit back till next November. That's the only thing. But as of right now...
You make a good point, because I'm on the side of the coin where I think that 4 months isn't enough notice for a film.
But it's not 4 months.
I think like 6 months is usually the perfect amount, and that would be November. 6 months would be November.
And I think that's the sweet spot. But it's not 4 months. It's almost 4 years, maybe 5. Again, from Kong Skull Island, introducing Kong into that monsterverse, and then this year's King of the Monsters introducing...
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm thinking more on the lines of the general audience, not the hardcore Godzilla fans. Because at the end of the day, the hardcore Godzilla and Kong fans, we're going to see it regardless.
But irregardless of that, the plan is always to get the general audience in.
The general audience, from at least me talking to my customers as a customer service rep at a gas station, everybody I've ever talked to about this topic, about the MonsterVerse, they're all talking about they're excited and they're waiting for Godzilla vs. Kong, or as they always like to say it, Godzilla vs. King Kong.
Right.
Because general audience, they don't pay attention to the actual titles.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. I mean, Godzilla vs. Kong, it just sounds like a smackdown of a film, I mean, you can't say Godzilla vs. Kong and expect it to not be a big old wrestling match, man. And I think I think you're right. I think a lot of people are, really looking forward to it. I honestly think that Godzilla vs. Kong might make more money than King of the Monsters by far.
I agree with that.
I think honestly what should have happened, and I know O'Shea Jackson feels the same, Godzilla King of the Monsters should have been the 3rd entry into this franchise, not the 2nd. And I kind of in a ways agree. But
I mean, it technically was.
Technically was. Yeah, Godzilla is in Kong Skull Island. Godzilla is there. He's on the cave twice. And then you hear him roar. The last thing in Kong Skull Island that you hear is Godzilla. They make no mistakes about it, baby dolls. That is a Godzilla movie. Screw you, King Kong. And that we will wrap it up. I want to wrap it up by doing something I've never done before on a Godzilla Block Party. And that is calling attention to next week's episode. Because Chase had brought something up right now. And it just made my freaking head blow up. Next week's episode, we're going to talk about Godzilla vs. Kong and how it's really going to be the end of the Big G and the beginning of King Kong. That'll do it, ladies and gentlemen, for this episode of Godzilla Block Party. Yo, Brother Chase, thank you for being with us.
Oh, absolutely. I had fun talking about these subjects. Yeah, I look forward to see what comes out next week, if or anything at all.
That's right. And Gang Z1, bro, thank you for the whole, like, literally, we damn near based this entire episode around that one question that you randomly thought up 15, 20 minutes into the damn podcast.
Oh, yeah. You know, I love talking about toys.
Can't help it. Can't help it. And honestly, brought some really good conversation to the table. And thank you all out there for listening to us. This is the Godzilla Block Party. I am G1, and we are out of here. Peace.